Okay, the days of a man's life is about 70 years. If he take care of himself, he probably will live until 80 or 90. I was born in 1948, so I'm living in the borrowed time. So when I was born in a family of 5, what happened is that the communists came. So we have to move from China to whatever. So my parents decided to move to Taiwan. So we got on a boat. My mom took 5 of us. I was less than a year. So I don't remember anything, but she told me that our boat hit a rock or something, and we have to be on the island for a few days waiting for rescue. It's only about 120 miles across the ocean. It took us, I think, about 5 days. So that was my first experience of crossing the ocean to a new place. Then we stayed in Taiwan for almost 15 years until 1963. So while I was in Taiwan, I studied my Chinese school, so I picked up the language. It became handy later on when I came to Canada. I found some people don't speak English. So 1963, that's another chance for us to go to a better place, because we lost everything when we moved from China to Taiwan. So we were living on a very low income, so to speak. So when we had a chance to immigrate to to Canada, we took the chance. And the reason we can come is because one of my sisters moved here, married to a guy who owns a restaurant, and they can sponsor us. And the place is in Montreal. So 1963, my parents and my brother, 4 of us, came to Montreal. Can you imagine? Then I was about 14 or 15. And it's a totally new city or new place for us to adjust. The first thing I did is to enroll to a summer school to pick up my English language in order to go to school in September. And mind you, the rent, I remember, we only pay $50 or $60 for a month, a 3-bedroom. You can't get that in Surrey for sure. Maybe a garage or something. Anyway, we stayed in Montreal for another 15 years. And the only thing I remember is it's cold. There's lots of snow. And I learned how to drive in the snow, with a snow tire. And to watch hockey in the weekend, and just grow up in a school. When I remember we went to high school and then university. I got my first job in Montreal and also bought a first car. So I was pretty happy. Then, 1975, I got a whole summer off, so I got to find something to do. So I drove all the way to Halifax from Montreal. There I met my wife. That's something that unusual, surprise. Because I was at Peggy's Cove doing some, not ice fishing, sea fishing. and I caught some fish, but the biggest one I caught was unexpected. And we've been married since then, 1976. We married in Montreal. So you can imagine the adventure since then. Now, after Montreal, what happened is my first job was teaching in high school, which is not the best job, best pay, but I did have 2 months off. That's what I like. But unfortunately, the Bill 101, the French independence, that forced me to find a better place. So we moved to Calgary. Then I was married. We have our first kid. Okay, so now I'm in Western Canada from 1978. The rest is history. So I still live in Western Canada. I'm in the West Coast. So between the 80s, 90s, and 2 decades, we were living in prairie all our life. And I changed my profession to doing some ministry for the churches. That's why I took some Bible class, some theological training, got my degree so I can get a job in the church in Saskatoon for 10 years. Can you imagine? Saskatoon, I never heard that word, and I thought it was some kind of fruit or something. But anyway, Regina, Saskatoon, that's it's a very nice city, Saskatoon. I raised my kids. It's much different from East Vancouver, It's different from Richmond. It's different from White Rock. Saskatoon is a beautiful city to raise kids. So if you ever have kids, I suggest to move there. And the house is cheap, and the education is good. But we didn't stay too long. 10 years I had to move because my job, I don't speak the right language there. So I moved to Edmonton to a Mandarin-speaking church. That's my mother tongue because I pick up Mandarin in Taiwan, you see. So if you know one extra language, it helps in Canada because it's a multicultural country, Besides English and French, I wish I can speak German, French, Ukrainian, Punjabi, and I'll be all set. I'll probably run for prime minister. But anyway, where am I now? I'm in Saskatoon, so I moved to Edmonton in the 90s, the city of champion, can't lose. So I got there. I had my 2 kids in high school, and we had a good time. We stayed there 12 years. It's a good city, except, it's pretty dry, So finally, in 2006, we moved to BC. In a way, it's by choice, or other things is by my conference need somebody here to start another ministry or church work, so we took that. So we moved to Surrey in 2006, and since then we've been living here, now it's about 14 years. You can tell that I've been moving from one place to another. I'm always on the move, so now I'm ready to settle down. And in Surrey, besides working, I like to take advantage of the weather because here, besides the rain, everything's good. When I remember the 2006, the first month I arrived in January, the 28 days raining without stop. That's a little bit too much. I think it get people depressed if you get too wet. But now, since then, the weather is good. So I learned how to ride a motorcycle because a motorcycle is You got to ride in the, in the prairie here. Now in the lower mainland, you can go to Halifax, to what do you call it? Abbotsford, right? Missions, and go to Sumas, those places. Riding your Harley Davidson, it's really fun because, in Canada, it's so quiet. You got to find something to do. You can sit at home. So when I retired in 2013, that's what I did. My wife did not agree, but she's from Malaysia, so she took months off, a few months off, to visit her family in Malaysia. So I am by myself. That's the what you call freedom, right? Freedom 55. So by then, I pick up a bike from the dealership after I finished the school. So that was my high point in BC. Besides doing the ministry, that's kind of a work, right? Riding a bike is recreation, right? So, but I end up had a big accident, not accident, I just somehow the bike run away from me. I couldn't push it down, right? So I released the clutch. I don't know what happened. It just ramped up, and so my Kawasaki 900 just ran off, and I have to get rid of it. So I stopped riding bikes. So I pick up pickleball. Pickleball is something that's the best invention since I think the light bulb or something. The pickleball is a game. It's a hybrid between a badminton and ping pong and tennis, those kind of things. So it's very easy to play. And I think everybody who can play, want to exercise, that's the best sport to pick up. I think it's better than golfing, because it's chasing the ball, you run around, you spend so much money for nothing. Pickleball is a social game, and so I would highly recommend that in South Surrey here. Now, the third thing I remember in Surrey is that it's a place supposed to be very good to live, but the safety here is an issue. When I was in Saskatoon, I never locked my door. Here something happened. When I was in Mexico vacationing one summer in 2015, the RCMP broke our door, and when I came back, they told me something happened. They have to rescue somebody in my house. So I have no idea what exactly happened, but I did have the door broken. Took me 6 months to repair, and then I decided to move to South Surrey, which is close to my pickleball court, and it's much safer, I think. And so far there was no breaking in, but my condo said there was an incident. Somebody stole the computer, but anyway, that's okay. So my goal now is to find the most safe place to live. What do you suggest? Maybe Victoria? Hawaii? No, I think I gave up already. I'm going to stay put because my mission for my last few years, my remaining life, I don't know how long I'm going to live, but as I say before, days of a man is 70 years. If he's strong, it's 80 years. So I'm counting the days. But I'm really optimistic because I have a friend who went to prepare a nice place for me, and I know I can trust him. So I hope that when I get there, I see you there too, and I hope my family can have a family reunion because on this earth, I don't think you can find any permanent residence.